What up, everybody? My name's Impractical, and welcome back to Sonic Speed Simulator. Today, we're going to be going over my patented 100% foolproof rebirth guide. That's right, and you guys are going to really love this one because honestly, there's so much to go over, and you'll be surprised about how everything can affect it. So, without further ado, let's get in the video. All right, so we're going to go over what rebirthing is. If a lot of you don't know what rebirth essentially is, that you get these points right here at the bottom. The way to get these points is by leveling up your character. You level up your character by, of course, taking steps, collecting chaos orbs, and of course, etc, etc, etc. Now, there are a few things that can factor your rebirthing, but essentially what you need to know is that in order to get rebirth points, you need to convert them from your levels. So we go over here to the menu, we go to rebirth, and then we hit here rebirth, and we converted those levels into rebirth points, which will be displayed right here at the bottom. Now, what is so important about rebirthing is that this affects your base stats. That's right. If we remove the stats from the characters, the pets, the trails, and any other bonus game passes you may have equipped, all you have left is with your base stats for your account, and that is what essentially we're working on upgrading and maxing out. Now, the best thing is if you're struggling with getting rings or anything of the like, it's good to invest in this area right here, rings specifically, so you can get a higher multiplier for rings. The same goes for experience, and damage can affect your levels or help you gain higher levels, which is course based on XP. Of course, we have the individual character stat. Your star level for that character will be dependent, as 6-star characters that focus on XP will have 150%. If it's a balanced character, it will end up being 100, and if you have a character that leans away from the XP stat, not balance or XP, it will just be 75%. So you want to make sure you lean towards a character that focuses heavily on the stat you're trying to farm the most, which is XP, of course. You have to look at your chows as well, as these can have a factor towards the amount of XP you gain. And remember, the natural evolutionary step for a chow, the next step is a fast friend. So if you get yourself the best chow in the game, which will be displayed here on screen, you will see that that chow will get a multiplier boost when you have your fast friend equipped. That's right, because it gives 150% of the best stats. So it looks in through your inventory, find out, hey, this is the best chow that you have for XP, and it will give it to you automatically. The same goes for trails. For trails, you want to make sure you have something that's high in XP as well to add on to your gains for XP. Now, this is very heavily dependent on what you have in your account, so it's best to keep an eye out for these items on screen. Next step, we're going to be looking at your rebirth stat. Yes, this can also play to gain an XP as well. So if you're heavily investing in your experience area while rebirthing, you will gain a higher XP yield, which will gain you more levels, which will then be converted to more rebirth points. Again, repeating that cycle, but you will be gaining at a faster rate the more you keep investing in experience. All right, so we're going to be talking about magnet this time. So if you're wondering why magnet's important, is because we need to be able to reach and pull all the chaos orbs as much as possible in order to get the most levels possible. It's not just steps, we need to also collect a lot of chaos orbs. So magnet comes in handy for that. Right here in Blender, we have Neo Metal inside of here with the magnet field. So this is his field when he's at 6 stars. This is the range he has. It's not a bad, decent range. He does get a bit of a pull at plus 30. Now, when you start equipping trails and pets onto that, plus any additional things like the infinite magnet pass, you will increase your range for magnet, and this allows you to pull chaos orbs below, above, left, right, behind you in all sorts of directions. So when it comes to farming rebirth points, the key thing here is magnet being a very important stat to have, because it allows you to pull more chaos orbs from all directions, and the more of it you have, the bigger your range. So on screen, all of you will be seeing well, essentially the magnet range. That little red circle over the character is the range of the magnet for that character. You're going to be seeing different builds on screen to represent each tier or level of magnet build you may have. Now, this will be a kind of close representation. It's not really a 100% accurate look, but this does give you an idea of how far each range will be pulling depending on what characters, pets, trails, and items you have equipped. Now again, this is something that is an account specific type of thing because this depends on what you have on your account currently. So not everyone will have the same items, not everybody will have everything they need. So again, results may vary when it comes to magnets. So again, this will give you a general idea of the type of range you're dealing with and also a good visual representation of like the importance of you stacking multiple magnets and the kind of range you'll have if you're able to get every magnet item possibly, well, every item you can for magnet equipped onto your character. But yeah, this is insane results because it shows, wow, the infinite magnet pass has such a good range right off the bat. But when you're combining it with Neo Metal Sonic at 6-star with plus 30 magnet, of course the magnet pass, 5 pets that have 15 magnet each, and then a plus 10 magnet trail, it's an insane range. Now, is that an accurate representation? No, but visually it gives you an idea of how big that range is. Next up, we're going to be showing you guys the top magnet build. So this is of course the highest magnet build in the game. I know Hedge did a video on this one, but it wasn't exactly 100% the most magnet you can get. So don't worry, Hedge, I got you for this one. Here's the top magnet build you can have currently in game. You have a Neo Metal Sonic, a super character. You can get him up in Hilltop. Now this is a great character to have for any free-to-play player, any player at all, because of the fact is at 6-star he's 150% focused on XP, which is a beneficial part of this guide, and a plus 30 in magnet, making the highest magnet character in the game. Now, if we move over to your friend stat, of course, we already know the best Chow in the game currently for for XP. It's going to be the Metal Sonic 3.0 Oma Chow. That's great because we're looking at a 2.19 million XP rate, which is a good thing to have. But the reason why we want him in our inventory is when we equip a fast friend at 6-star, we get that additional 150% boost. Toy Robot Summer Shadow is the best fast friend for magnet as he gives you a plus 15 in magnet. So again, having 5 of him equipped all at 6-star, we're talking an insane amount of magnet pool plus a high XP rate for him. And then next up, if we're going to be talking about trails, it's going to be none other than Gunpowder, which is my trail of choice, but you can also go with the Psychokinesis trail. Now, you don't need so much magnet. It kind of ODs on magnet at a certain point, but for me, I'm trying to make sure I do a clean sweep of any area I'm farming. So of course, I'm going to be heavily focused on magnet because I have other areas that can compensate when it comes to XP, but you guys can mix and match to your liking. It doesn't have to be 100% this, but this is the strongest magnet build. So of course, plus 10 in magnet in that area, plus 15 in all of these, which is multiplied by 5, and a plus 30, giving us a grand total of 115 magnet already with all of these equipped. Including the infinite magnet pass here at the bottom, we have such a high pull rate, it is insane. So of course, we'll be able to gain as much chaos orbs as possible. As you guys can see, I'm already pulling things from below me without having to move, and that's because of the amount of magnet I already have equipped. Alright, so let's go over game passes. Now, game passes will affect your gains when it comes to the rebirth points, so we need to look at what game passes actually have an effect towards it and what can boost our gains and the results at the end of the day. So of course, you have the 2x skill piece game pass. You'll earn twice as many skill pieces when rebirthing, so this is a good thing to have. So every time you rebirth, instead of getting the standard 100 or 200, it'll be double that amount, so you'll actually be getting 200 to 400 and so on and so forth. So yes, everything you gain is doubled. You also have the 2x skills, so your skill bonuses are doubled. The way this works is that over here on the rebirth stats sections, whatever stats you have here is essentially double that. So of course I have a 5 times, it's really a 10 times. So again, it does boost how much experience I gain, which is an insane amount at the end of the day because these are all doubled. So I'm not gaining what's standard here. It has a hidden multiplier from that game pass. Next up, we do have the infinite magnet pass, which I did show earlier. So of course, this will help us pull in more chaos orbs, which helps us with higher gains in our XP rates. We do have the 2x level, so we'll level up twice as fast. This is super handy because it will shorten the amount of time it takes for us to gain a level. So essentially, yes, we are getting double the rates going on through while playing the game, and this actually is very handy again because levels are being converted into rebirth points. You do have the XP booster, which essentially gives you the 2x level and the 2x skill pieces. If you're wondering, yes, this does stack with the single 2x level and the single 2x skill pieces. So essentially, because I have all 3 of these purchased, I'm actually getting a 4x on my skill pieces rebirthing, and I'm getting a 4x level up. So again, I'm getting insane rates because of the game passes I already own. Lastly, let's look at AFK Champ. Now this one's a really fun one because you earn 20% more rewards in auto run. If you're wondering what that means, essentially is that anything of the rewards I get, which is XP, red star rings, or rings itself, I will get a 20% bonus additional to what I am gaining. So of course my results and gains will be extremely higher compared to everything else. So as you guys can see, I'm pulling in a lot of rings, and this is an insane amount. I hit claim, and boom, look how much I am getting, which again is an insane amount. So I can keep doing this for quite a while, and I'll be getting 20% of whatever I'm picking up, making this a great effective if you're focusing on XP, but it's also great because it affects red star rings and rings as well. Lastly, let's take a look at Sky Ring Master, which reduces the cooldown of Sky Rings to 3 seconds. So no more 30 seconds, this will be to 3 seconds, which again, this has an interesting effect, and I was trying to figure out how will this work on an XP grind or rebirth build. You know, focusing on that, because we're able to get these Sky Rings every 3 seconds, you think this will be the optimal approach for farming XP. Sadly, it's not. So on screen, you guys will be seeing me here in Cyber Station. I found the Sky Ring right on the path. So this allows me to stay here for a bit while also getting the Sky Ring XP. And I don't have to move. You could just literally AFK here and sit here farming this, and you don't have to move at all. You can see my current rate of XP I'm gaining as long as I'm sitting here. So with the Sky Ring Master, getting into that, it's letting me get a Sky Ring every 3 seconds. The funny part is looking at this XP rate that I'm gaining here on screen, comparing that to the method I will show later on. It is completely terrible. It is the worst way to farm XP. And so even with the Sky Ring Master, you're not going to be gaining insane rates. Unfortunately, this is only good for completing the task, which is like if they give you a task saying, oh, get 100 Sky Rings. Well, this is great for that because you could sit here and you'll be getting a Sky Ring every 3 seconds without having to hover around, fly around, none of that. You could just sit here, and this is an AFK way of doing it. So not great for an XP farming or rebirth farm, but it's good for completing a task. Something I forgot to mention is the additional +2 pet slots. This is actually very handy if you're working on an XP build, because having more pets equipped increase your gains. So it doesn't matter if it's just XP, steps, or if it's just an additional ring count or damage, you will benefit a lot from having additional pet slots. So if you want to increase your gains and make it faster and you don't want to invest in none of these, I would recommend the pet slots because having more pets will be beneficial for you. Okay, so let's get into essentially what everybody's here for, the best methods for farming XP, which leads to the best method of farming rebirth. We're finally here. I know it took quite a while, but there was a lot to explain. So there's 2 methods for this one. One is you actively grinding, and the AFK option, which will be done in auto run. So let's focus on the active method first, which will be done in Cyber Station. All right, we're here in Cyber Station. Now, to make this a lot easier, of course, we're going to have to hop in here, rebirth, and just rebirth. We want to make sure we're set to 0 to test this out. Now, the main key thing of why a super character is important in Neo Metal is because of that flight ability. And with all the max magnet we have equipped on with Neo Metal, our pets, and our trail as well, and the infinite magnet pass, we should be able to pull these chaos orbs in all directions. So let's test this out. All right, with all that farming, we got ourselves a grand total of 145 skill pieces. Now, this isn't so bad. It's good. This is what we want. I have a ×2 on here, but really we all know that this is a ×4 with all the game passes I have on. So it gets us close to roughly around about almost 600 skill pieces, which isn't so bad because this was about 2 minutes worth of flying around here inside a cyber station. As you guys can see, it's a really quick sweep of the area. Doesn't take that long to farm any of this. So let's break down the math and what exactly is our earning potential here with this, well, crazy build. Alright, it's time to break down these skill pieces. So we already know that I gained about 145 skill pieces in about that 2 minute time. Let's just be generous and round it up to 150 so we have an even number. So that's 600 with that 4 times multiplier. I gained every single 2 minutes. Let's add a minute for refresh rate because internet sucks. So that's 3 minutes right there. So we have 3 minutes in total. If we multiply that by 10, let's just say 3 minute times 10 mark, because we did 10 rounds of this, it was 3 minutes each. That would give us a grand total of us earning around 6,000 skill pieces in a 30-minute time frame. So again, a large amount for what I have. Now for the average player, this would account for, if you don't have none of the multipliers and nothing like that, what you're getting essentially is about 1,500 skill pieces every 30 minutes if you farm this way. Now, this is just to give you guys the idea that when you come here and farm, it's really dependent on your build and how you have your account set up. I can't really make a guide that is accounted for every type of build, but I could show you generically where you'll be around this ballpark if you try to get as close as possible to having everything maxed out as much as you can in order to farm the levels for the skill pieces. So let's try the other additional method I have for all of you. So here we are in Speed Jungle. So this is going to be pretty much easy. So we're going to rebirth to make sure we reset it. A while back, I made a video talking about the best auto runs in Sonic Speed Simulator. This is the best one for farming XP. So of course, we're trying to get here. We're going to end up picking up stuff. It's going to happen. It's okay. It's not really going to affect the test. It will show you how well this actually supports it. So right here, we're going to hit yes, and we're going to try to equip our hoverboard while in here. Now, while we're here equipping our hoverboard, we're going to be pulling as much material as possible thanks to our insane magnet range. As you guys can see, I'm pulling things in all directions, nearby, even above us. So everything is being pulled into the character. And because we have the AFK champ, we're getting an additional 20% towards our XP. So we'll be getting a lot higher rates here in auto run than we would if we were normally to farm this. Again, trust me, we're going to be doing this for a short time. We're only going to be sticking to the timer and then seeing what we earned so far. All right, we're back and we got about almost 2 minutes. We're going to claim at the 2 minute mark, which should be at 3 right here. And boom, we're back at 269. So 2 minutes of farming here gave us around 269, which is again the same as it would if we were to farm the other way. The only difference about this is that the rates are a lot higher here, and so is the refresh rate as well. So covering the skill pieces overall, just using the methods I have here and all the game passes, I was able to get from a 3 times to a 5 times in about 2 hours. Again, crazy, I know. But not every player has these game passes, and not everybody can just buy all of this up. So at the end of the day, it still proves to be the best method for all types of players. It's just each type of player will have a different rate of gaining based on what they have in their account. So again, the method is perfect for everyone. New players, free-to-play players who've been here for years, pay-to-win players who've been here for such a long time and have every game pass in the game, like I do. So no matter what you have in your account at the end of the day, the method still works. Making sure you have a good amount of magnet, making sure you have a good amount of pets and trails to support that magnet, a good XP character, and also the locations are the best you can use. AFK and Speed Jungle Soul is a good option. I've stayed there for about 8 hours or so, and I've gained about 300 rebirth points, would give a grand total about 1,200 with all the multipliers I have equipped. So, but still, 300 rebirth points for a free-to-play player that has no game passes is still a good amount, which you can put towards leveling up. Now, here's the best part about this video. Do you need rebirth points? No, you don't. So, unfortunately, I've tested this out with my free-to-play account that has nothing on rebirth, and you kind of don't need any rebirth points. In fact, just pets and trails and even characters alone will carry you through the game. It's it's such a small amount that this affects what you get at the end of the day. It's kind of sad. I'm not joking around. I'm so serious. It is a kind of sad thing to see, as you don't get a large amount of it to, it doesn't have that much of an impact. So of course this deserves a rework, and it should get a rework hopefully down the line. But overall, what I displayed in this video is the best methods to do and the best type of style to approach it if you want to max these out. Can you max them out? No, we don't even know the hard cap number for any of these stats. So unfortunately, unless it's confirmed by the developers, one doesn't exist. So if your goal is to max it and hopefully see if there's a light at the end of this tunnel, hit me up and let me know if you found it, because I'll definitely be interested in knowing that fact. Are we done? Yep, we're done. Perfect. We are done with this guide, and I am so happy. Yeah, I know this was a very lengthy guide, but there's a lot of information to put out, especially for all of you who want to know every detail and aspect when it comes to farming Rebirth. Again, you don't need to invest in it so heavily, but it does help out, especially if you're trying to reach a personal goal. Currently, I'm trying to max my experience as high as possible, just so I can have the highest level in the game, just to show it off. Is it possible to max a level? I don't know. We don't know if there's a set hard cap. Is there any other reason to do it? No. I just like making ridiculous goals and then accomplishing them in this game. So at the end of the day, doesn't matter what you're doing or why you're doing it. If it's something you want to do, just do it and have fun doing it. Now, hit me up in the comments. I want you guys to let me know what you think about this video. What do you think of the guide, all the information and stuff, well, that I put out here. And also, don't forget to drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you want to know, this is part of my farewell package to all my audience. They've all been asking for specific videos. So before I say goodbye to Sonic Speed Simulator, well, not completely, but making sure I'm only around for the big important updates, I will be dropping a video on how to farm red star rings. And this is going to be a fun guide, because my God, the amount of ways this is gonna go, oh, you guys are gonna love this video, because trust me, a lot of you are gonna get rich off that one. So I'll see you guys in my next video, and don't forget to check out the other stuff in my channel and support me along the way. I love ya. Take it easy. Bye-bye.